What's up, guys? Welcome back. Kelly with Droid Life, and we're going to run through 20 or so tips and tricks for the brand new Motorola Moto X. So if you follow us at all, you know that we did a 20 tips and tricks video for the Galaxy S4 and the HTC One. Both well received. People were able to take some things away from that and actually hopefully enjoy the experience on their phone a little bit more. So we want to do the same thing with the Moto X, since at least we think it's probably going to be one of the most popular devices of the year. So tip number one, I guess, is if you have an AT&T account and you plan on getting the Moto X, buy it through motomaker.com, which is Motorola's customization software site for the Moto X. So what they're allowing you to do for the first time in essentially industry history is allow you to customize your own phone for free. At least they're not charging you extra for it. So if you go to motomaker.com come August 23rd or so, when the phone goes live for AT&T, you can set up your own phone with a different color, accents, front, back colors. You can buy accessories, change the color of your charger, all that cool stuff. And they're not going to charge you anything extra. It's still $199 on contract for the 16 gig version or $249 for the 32 gig version. If you go into an AT&T store, you'll be able to see the look of all of these, most of the colors, but you'll only be able to buy the black or white versions in store. So again, motomaker.com, they'll let you custom design your own phone and then ship it to you, and you'll receive it within 4 days. So pretty cool deal there. Again, one of the first, or if not the first company in the industry to do that. All right, so let's jump into my favorite feature of the phone outside of being able to customize it, and that's active display. Okay, so what Motorola has done with active displays, they've got an AMOLED screen here, and they're able to build in a software feature that allows them to sort of light up just select white pixels in the display or an area of the display. So it's not going to kill your battery, but it's using your display to show you actual information that makes sense and works for you, rather than using like a blinking notification light. Okay, so the other thing we do here is, let's say your phone is face down on your desk, or it's in your pocket or in your purse or something like that. With active display, you're able to pull your phone out and never touch a button, and it'll show you the time and all of your notifications, or at least show you that you have notifications. So think about that. How many times a day do you pull your phone out of your pocket, and the first thing you do is reach for that lock switch so you can see the time, and then if you have notifications. With active display, you pull it out of your pocket, your purse, what have you, flip it over, and immediately time comes up, and if you have notifications. So you don't have to tap anything, swipe anything, it's just kind of there. All right, so this is how it works. When it comes up, and it should strobe a couple times, you touch in the middle circle and it'll show you your first notification. Actually, it's usually your most recent notification. And if you want to access that, you can actually just swipe right up to there. You'll feel a little vibrate and it'll take you right into that notification. Okay, so I'm gonna have to send myself another one to get another notification to pop back up. So let's see if that'll work. And so that also then clears away your notifications, because it assumes you've looked at them and you've unlocked your phone and all of that stuff. So if I flip this back open, well, you'll see I have a Hangouts message because I just sent myself another one. So Hangouts notification there, but I don't know if you noticed when I did do the email, I had another notification that listed it down at the bottom. So you can actually see multiple notifications at a time. Now, there's a couple things you can do from here. If you're looking at this notification, let's say you say, well, I don't really need to see anything, so I just kind of want my phone to go back to sleep. You can actually swipe over to the left or to the right, and it'll put your phone right back to sleep. Now, it didn't look like it actually did it correctly there, so we're going to try that one more time. Send myself another message. There we go. So you look at it and you go, I don't really need to see that. Swipe to the right and your phone goes off and you can get back to whatever you're doing. Now, if you want to just unlock your phone, all it takes is a swipe down to the unlock button, which makes sense, and that will unlock your phone for you. So again, active display, by far my favorite feature on the entire phone. And if you really can't live without it once you start using it, trust me. All right, so another cool thing is touchless control. All right, so I'm gonna go into settings here and show you the sort of beginning of this. Touchless control is Motorola's take on voice commands or voice actions using Google search. So what they do is they added on like a separate core to the processor that's an always listening core, but it doesn't drain battery even though it's constantly listening for you. So what it allows you to do is say this phrase right here, and I'm not gonna say it or it's gonna pop up, and then say a voice action afterwards, and it'll complete that for you through Google search. It's really awesome, actually. So what you do is you set it up by saying that phrase 3 times. It learns your voice so that, you know, your wife or your friend or somebody else can't say that and activate your phone. So it's sort of tailored to you. And then you can do all sorts of cool voice actions. So what the point of it being touchless control is that you don't have to touch your phone while you're doing it. And that includes with the phone in a locked state, which is kind of crazy. They're one of the first companies, probably if not the first, to be able to do this on a phone and actually make the battery last more than a couple of hours. So just as an example, I could say, okay, Google now, show me flight info. And I have an upcoming flight, so we'll see how it does.
Here are the next few reservations. First up, Delta Airlines Flight 2258 from PDX to JFK leaves at 7 a.m. on September 3rd.
All right, so you can see I've pulled up, it's searching through my flight info that's connected to any of my accounts. See, I've got a couple of trips planned. Now you can keep going. I could say, okay, Google now, remind me to buy beer this afternoon. And this is not gonna fully work, I apologize. But it's because I don't have Google Now set up. But if I had Google Now set up, it would say set reminder, and I could tap one button and then it would actually set a reminder for me to go buy beer later. So you can see how that would work, but you can also do other stuff like I could say, okay, Google Now, call fake. And for those not familiar,
Calling fake at home.
Fake is my fake demo phone number that I can call. So you can do calls. You can also text people. And then you can also use it for just Google searches, knowledge graph type stuff. So I could say, okay, Google now, who's the president of the United States?
Barack Obama is the president of the United States of America.
Okay, Google now, who is he married to? We'll see if this works.
Barack Obama's spouse is Michelle Obama since 1992.
So you can see how powerful that could be. Now it's good for driving and things like that. I use it sometimes when I'm driving for different directions of place or just to look up, say like a coffee shop or a burger restaurant or something like that. But you can see all the different things you can do there. So what it's doing is tapping into Google Voice Search and Google Voice Actions and Google Now and all this stuff, and sort of gives you all of that power that you have with those services anyway. Now you can just do it without ever touching your device. So you notice that whole time my phone didn't move, it just sat there other than when I tapped to cancel the phone call to the fake number. So pretty cool there. So let's talk about the other third big feature that Motorola is really going to be pushing with this phone, and it's their quick capture camera. So we listed a lot of different tips and tricks in there, but the camera will jump into a bunch more now. So the quick capture camera is Motorola's vision of saying everyone wants to take photos with their phone and they want to do it quicker so they don't miss that really important happening that's going on in front of them right now. And so what they've done is created this sort of shake gesture that will launch your camera and then allow you to tap anywhere on the screen to take a picture in what they claim to be less than 2 seconds. So I'm going to try it for you. And I promise you, every time I try to demo this on camera, it never works the first time. So we'll give it a shot. So all you're supposed to do is do a double shake twist, and then the camera launches, and then you can tap and it will take a picture. So you can see how quick that could be. Now I've got some practice, so I actually did get that right the first time, but it's just a double shake, wrist twist, tap, camera. You've taken a picture in less than a few seconds. I don't know if it's 2 seconds or not, but it's really, really quick. All right, so you've got that down. Now you've practiced that, right? So I would say the next thing I wanted to make sure you're aware of is the settings menu on the left side over here. It's just a little wheel, and you can access it by swiping from the left. So you've got this little wheel, and there's not many settings in here. If you want to do panorama mode, it's this option. And from there, all you do is tap a picture, and then you start moving one way, and then it'll start doing a panorama. And you can actually go either way if you'd like. And it'll do panoramas either way. It just depends on which way it senses your motion. But if you don't want to do panoramas, the other thing I definitely want to point out is tap to focus. Okay, so right now Motorola's got it set up, at least out of the box, that you just tap anywhere. Like I could tap down here, and it sort of centers a focus and decides what it should focus on. Like I could tap up here, and you can see this, the focus is always right around the center, or at least Motorola is trying to figure out what it thinks it needs to focus on. So you can change that if that's bugging you, and it's this option right here, and it's tap to focus. So what this allows you to do is tap anywhere on the screen that you want the camera to focus, and it will then take a picture. So I can say, I want this Motorola logo, and it taps to focus right there. And I could tap to focus over here, although there's nothing there. And it'll keep tapping and taking photos and assuming wherever I touch. So you can do either way. But that's a way you sort of take pictures. Now, if you want to do burst mode, or I guess it's not really a burst mode, it's just a multi-shot mode, Motorola actually allows you to press and hold, and you can just start taking more pictures. You can see the count going up there. So you can take a whole bunch of pictures in a row. Right there, just took 11 or 12 pictures. And you can do that just by holding your finger down. See that? Okay, so that's camera in terms of controls and things like that. If you want to get to video, there's a video button right here, and it will just start recording automatically. So once you tap that button, it just starts recording. And you can actually tap and it'll take stills while you're recording, just so you are aware. Hit stop there. And then there's your camera option to flip over to the front facing camera. So how do you access your pictures, right? There's no icon down here that says like how you get to your gallery or something like that. And it's a quick swipe from this right side. And it actually takes you right into your gallery. And from here you can swipe through and look at all your pictures, delete, share them, all of that good stuff. Pinch to zoom, all the stuff you really want to do. And the pinch to zoom brings me to the next little tip, and that is quickly deleting. So let's say you just took 15 pictures, and by holding down the button on accident, you don't really want all those. If you do a pinch out, so if you pinch in, you can zoom, right? But if you pinch all the way out, you'll get into sort of this card style look. And from here, you can just swipe up or swipe down, and it will actually delete photos for you. So you can see it's deleting those, and it's allowing me to undo if I'd like, with a little button down there. You can swipe up or down, and it will just continue to delete. So this is a really handy way to flip through and delete as many pictures as you want in a really quick time. So those are just some camera stuff. I wanted to quickly point out that since you do have on-screen buttons on this phone, you can access Google Now how Google wants you to, and that's with a swipe up on the home screen right into Google Now. And that gets you into Google Now, which I don't have set up yet. But you can do that, again, from anywhere. So if I'm in the Google Play Store, a quick swipe up will get me into Google Now as well. And you can do that from almost anywhere. If you're on your lock screen, not the active display, but this actual lock screen, you'll see the little circle down here, and you just swipe up on that, and that also will get you into Google Now. And if we're talking about lock screen, we might as well remind you that this is running mostly stock Android. So if you're on the actual lock screen, you can always swipe over from the right, and that's one way to get you into your camera if you don't want to do the sort of shaky, twisty motion. And then also if you go to the left, it does have lock screen widgets. So you can go in here and you can add all of the lock screen widgets your heart desires. Okay. So let's go ahead and back out of there. So those are just some basic Android tips. Actually, I want to show you this one as well. If you don't know this trick already, your notification bar obviously is right here. If you want to jump into your quick toggles, it's a 2-finger swipe down on that. And then you can see those, or you can just tap this button up here and that will toggle you between them all. But since it's running mostly stock Android and 4.2.2, 2-finger swipe, if I can actually do that right, 2-finger swipe down actually gets you into your quick toggles, which is always nice. All right, so I thought I would show you an accessory that's going to be available for the Moto X, and it's called the Motorola Skip, and I've actually got it right here on my shirt. Now, what this does is allows you to unlock your phone with a pattern or lock on it without actually entering a pattern or lock. You can actually just tap your phone to it and it will unlock. So I'm going to jump into security real quick because I need to enable that. And I'm actually, I think this is the quicker way to do it. I can just tap it here. And then it's going to say, oh, Motorola Skip. Yes, let's use you. You sound like a lot of fun. And then it'll ask you to enter in a pattern or a pin. And we'll just continue and we'll confirm. And yep, we got the Skip all set up and ready to go. So you can see now my screen lock is switched to NFC unlock. So this Motorola Skip is a wearable NFC chip that allows you to unlock your phone. So you can see if I tap the lock switch, I have a lock pattern on here, and that would be what I would need to do to unlock my phone unless I just tap it to the Motorola Skip, assuming I can find that sweet spot, and it should just unlock. So it sounds a little silly, but the point is someone that uses a pattern or pin doesn't want to have to enter that every single time they would pick up their phone, but they also want to be able to have their phone secure in case they lose it or drop it or their kid picks it up. So this allows them to unlock their phone by placing this little tag. Of course, I can never get this to work on video. By placing this tag on their body or somewhere handy, like on a pant pocket or a bag or something like that, unlock their phone. Now you can also, if you buy the Skip, it comes with these NFC stickers. So you can do it with these as well. Oops, now I don't believe I have this set up yet. But if I touch it there, it should ask me if I want to set this up. And I say, yep, let's do it. Let's add this sticker. And so now I should be able to do this with the sticker as well. Should be able to slide that over top, assuming you can find that sweet spot. Yeah, see, so there's definitely some bugs with this. I've found that you have to almost have the lock screen up, which would include pressing a button in order to do it. But anyways, it's called the Motorola Skip. It's an NFC tag that allows you to unlock your phone. It's gonna run about 20 bucks, but if you go back to tip number 1 where I said customize with Moto Maker, Motorola is apparently gonna toss Moto Skips in the bag, or at least I'll give you the option to pick one up for free. So you might as well take advantage of it. Let's talk about another thing though. If you go ahead and unlock, and you go up into notifications, you'll see this option when you first set up your phone that says protect your phone. So if I go ahead and tap that, it says you can locate, lock, and even wipe your phone if you link to your Google account and go to motorola.com/support. So if you say, yes, I'm in, you enable the Motorola device policy and you activate, and then you select a Google account, which we'll do right there. So you select a Google account, and you saw it, whatever. And I don't want to keep you up to date, so I'll hit done there. So what that does then is if I go to motorola.com/support, what it'll do is add this device to my account. And you can actually go in and remotely track and remotely grab information about your device. Say it gets lost, you can wipe it and make it ring, all sorts of stuff. So I highly recommend you all definitely jump into that. So let's talk about Moto Connect for a second. So if we jump into settings and I go into active notifications, you'll see this section down here called Motorola Connect. That will focus. And what Motorola Connect is, it's a Chrome browser extension. I can't really show you on video because it would be kind of awkward, but it allows you to essentially manage your calls, texts, voicemails, and I believe it even shows you battery status through your Chrome extension without ever actually touching your phone. You can reply to texts and check voicemails, and then you can check your battery status, and it sort of lists out all the stuff you can do on there, and it just pairs your phone with a Chrome extension. It's free to use. Definitely one of those things I suggest you all check out. All right, so let's go in and look at some other settings here that I believe are unique to the Moto X. The first thing is going to be an audio equalizer. So if you go into sound and you go into audio effects, you'll see they've actually tossed in a equalizer for your speaker and also for if you wired stereo if you have headphones plugged in. So they have all these different modes. They got 3D, stereo, home theater, live stage, custom, speaker, you have bass punch and some other things. So you can actually turn it off if you don't want it at all. And then you can actually toggle, at least you should be able to. Maybe with that you can't. I figured you could actually adjust these. It looks like you can over here. If you go into custom, you should be able to. Well, maybe not. Thought you could. Anyways, there is an equalizer in there, so you can definitely adjust some settings in there if you'd like. The other thing I wanted to point out is in display. This is a wireless display capable device, which means if you have a dongle or a TV or an adapter for your TV that allows you to use Mirrorcast, you can actually mirror your phone's display to a TV. But again, you have to have a Mirrorcast adapter or a Mirrorcast display. There's not a lot of those available, but they definitely are there. So that's basically it. That's 20 or so tips and tricks throughout all those different software features for the Moto X. Since it's running basic stock Android, you get almost an entire stock experience. And so you've seen a lot of this stuff in the past already. So there's not a lot to really fill you in terms of OS and features. There's the big 3 features with all their little features built in that we showed you earlier. That's active display, touchless control, and the camera. And then there's just some other little things like Moto Skip and some accessories and some add-ons like Motorola Connect and that whole security thing. So we thought we'd show you that. 20 tips and tricks. If you find anything else out that we didn't show you, be sure to pass those along. Otherwise, we're Droid Life. Thanks for tuning in again. We're out. Peace.